Hello, everyone, and welcome to Navigate Autism's Traveling Podtips. I'm Jane Lynn Britton of Navigate Autism, and today we're talking about eye contact. I'm sitting in William's playroom, and I'm looking at all the mirrors, and it just reminds me of the power of teaching him how to use his eyes to connect with others. And I thought this is a great topic for me to share with you today. So eye contact is the doorway in to our kids. It helps so much. When they can look, they can learn better. They can connect better with us and with others. And it also helps us to feel that sweet interaction or connection as parents with them. So we want our kids to be able to do it, but it's really hard. In fact, William's eye contact was the thing that helped me as a mother finally realize that he did have autism. He would sit next to me at the dinner table and he couldn't look at me. And I would say, William, look at me. It would literally take him 45 seconds, which is a long time if you count to 45. It would take him 45 seconds to look at me. And it just broke my heart. When we started our homeschool program, he would sit in the corner on the floor. His eyes were glazed over and he could not look at me. And I knew this is where we really needed to start, was focusing on that. And there's some tips I'm going to share with you on how to start to build that really quickly and then how to sustain that. One of the most important things is that we follow the Sunrise program, which is beautiful philosophy of love and non-judgment and being in a place that's not distracting. So that means we took a room and took everything out of it. Everything. It was just white walls and blue carpet on the floor. And we came in and we were the color. We were the distraction. That's because we learned that for William, where he was at that time, everything was so distracting for him. He could not process it all. So we removed that. And we would come in and spend an hour and a half to 2 hours at a time one-on-one with him. We were the distraction. We were the color. We would bring in a game or an activity that we would use to try to connect with him and teach him. But that is it. So that if it was too overwhelming, I could put it away behind me where he couldn't see it. But part of this to get him to interact was inspiring him to look at me. And the way I did it was really just making my face, where I wanted him to look at my eyes, making my face the most exciting place to look. There was probably never a day I didn't have something on my face, whether it was a sticker or face paint or a hat or really big, goofy glasses, so that he would be excited or motivated to look at me. And if I didn't just like walk in with face paint, for instance, I would make sure I included in my bag of my game or activity, I would include a few things that I knew I could put on my head or my face to make sure that if he wasn't looking or if I wanted to kind of grab his attention, that is what I would do. Also, the parts of my game, or let's say I brought in a craft because he loves crafts. So the paper, the markers, the scissors, whatever it was, I would take each one and introduce it to him and say, hey, look what I've got. But I would hold it up to my face right next to my eyes to inspire him to look. If he's going to look at it, if he wants the marker, trust me, but to get it, he has to reach up to my eyes because that's where I'm holding it. He loved reading, or us to read to him. I would bring in a book. I would hold the book up to my eyes. I would literally read with the book right next to my eyes as best as I could. I would kind of look at the words and then read it to him so that he was always looking at me. Now, depending on how difficult looking at you is, it may take a little bit longer. So William would glance When he first started, literally, it was so hard for him to look at us. So a glance was what he could do, but that was great. We got that glance, and then we built on it. Later, a couple years later, it was really quick. He could look at us and hold that look for a long time. So how do we build that? Well, the whole idea is continue to do something fun and exciting. So I would continue to bring things to my eyes. I would also build games around the whole concept of extending that look. So he loves music. I would sing a lot. I would choose some of his favorite songs. And when I would sing, often he would look at me for a period of time. So what I would do is when he would look at me, I would sing the song, he'd look away or walk away, and I would stop. And I'd say, okay, I'm going to sing again, but you have to look at me. And it might have been a quick look. It might have taken a minute. Whenever it was, I was ready. And he would look at me and I would sing. And then when he looked away, even if it was 1 second later, or if it was a minute later, whenever he looked away, I stopped. And I say, okay, to sing more, you have to look at me. And then he would look. And so that is one way to draw out, to help our kids learn to have longer eye contact. So, some days it was singing with me. Some days it was a marker. So, I keep talking. He loves crafts. I would bring in a whole box of crayons. Oh, he loved the new crayons because of the sharp points. He was very sensory, and he loved to rub those sharp points on his skin. And so I literally would have like a box of 48 crayons, and I would give them to him one by one. First, I would bring it out of the bag, and I would use another tip I'm going to tell you right now, which is suspense. Using your voice and your face and your body in a suspenseful way often gets their attention. It would get my attention. So I would say, William, I have a surprise for you. And I would look in my bag and I would close it. And then he would look at me and I was like, yes, I have something in here. And I would use my voice, I would use my face and raise my eyebrows and make it really fun. I would say, I'm going to give you something, but you have to look. And then I would reach in and hand him one crayon. Of course, I'm holding that one crayon right next to my eyes. And he looks at it and he takes it and he's so excited. And then he starts to walk away. I'm like, oh, wait, I have another crayon for you. And then, of course, he would look. And what would I do? I would go slowly and I would pull it out and I would hold that crayon next to my eyes. And he would look at me and he would get it. So you can see these are the ways we can use whatever game or activity we're using to build suspense, make it fun, draw out the eye contact by continuing to take the pause to kind of re-excite them or inspire them by looking at us again, holding it up to our face, telling them they get more of what they want if and when they look at us. And literally today, fast forward 10 years later, he has the best eye contact of anybody I know. Autism or no autism, anybody I know. And great facial expressions. Oh, there's one other thing I have to share with you. Mirrors. Now, we just decided to devote our room to helping him learn and grow. So we put mirrors all over the walls. And they are the mirrors you go to any, Walmart or Kmart or wherever that you might buy and put on the back of your door. And we have them all lined up and really nailed into the wall so that whenever he would turn away from us, we could see him. We could catch his eyes and inspire him to look at us again by saying, oh, I see you. We're playing a game. Or at least when he would turn away, this is another tactic. Sometimes our kids are so smart. They'll be like, I want to avoid mom or dad or whoever's playing with me. And that's okay because they do need breaks. But after that break, William sometimes would be on the floor and he would be looking away from me, but he might glance at me through the mirror and I was watching. And I'd be like, hi, you're back. Look what I've got, this crayon. Right? So the mirrors were so helpful because I could catch those eyes, especially when it was early on and he really couldn't look, but he was just looking around kind of instinctively and maybe subconsciously, just kind of looking around, not really trying to look at me, but his eyes were moving around. He saw me. I could catch those eyes and I could celebrate. And every time he did look at me, we would celebrate big just to inspire him to do more of it. So you don't have to nail the mirrors on your wall. If you want, you can just get some and lean them against the wall. But that is a great tool. Also, there are lots of games you can do around looking in the mirror, looking and learning facial expressions. And when William started actually trying to do more talking with his mouth, he would look in the mirror and watch himself. So it's a great investment to have a few around whatever room you're using, even the bedroom, if that's something that works for you. So eye contact, the doorway in really to connecting with them, helping them learn and grow, and having fun by inspiring them through the way we show up, how we use our face and our body and our voice to inspire them to look at us, and then these different ways you can extend those looks, which will really help them have better eye contact. And I wish you all the best. I know you're going to have fun with this one, so have fun, and I look forward to talking to you again very soon. Take care.